What's good, everybody? It's your boy. Um, so I'm uploading a video right now about movies, and while I'm uploading that, I wanted to talk to y'all about something else I was thinking. So, on the rumor book, y'all know rumor book. Everybody know rumor book called Facebook. Um, well, on the rumor book, people have started talking. We are 2 years on Sony's PS4, 2 years on the Microsoft Xbox One, and 3 years on that Nintendo Wii U. That's it. That's as far as we've gone to this generation. And yes, I'm repping Nintendo crazy today. Um, Total accident too. The hat, no. Shirt, yeah. I'm not saying I don't like the shirt. It just happens to be the only shirt that I had. When I went to go get a shirt to change out of from work. So, anyway, the rumor book was spinning and going hard. Now, the rumor book was spitting these things out about the PlayStation, Sony brand, PS5. You heard me right, PlayStation 5, bruh. Remember, we're only 2 years deep in the PS4. So I wrote on there my little 2 cents, like I normally do, just to get some conversation going between people. Um, and someone said that, the reason, you know, behind the whole talk of the PS5 now is because 4K took off like a bat out of hell, the way Blu-ray did. Well, if you remember correctly, 4K came out about halfway through the lifespan of the PS3. Sony invented the whole thing and was charging $2,500 fucking dollars for that thing. No, $25,000 for 4K when it first came out. Feel me? Now, that was way outside people's budgets. Here we are now. It's 2016. 4K is roughly a whole $1,000. Roughly. A lot of people can afford that. A lot of people can't, but a lot of people can't. But they talking PS5. Now, before you get all crazy and think some crazy shit, I want y'all to understand something. Xbox One, PS4, not fully upgraded consoles. We have not seen these systems are not fully upgraded. They're like a 0.2 from the 0.5s of last gen. Last generation was a half upgrade from the PS2 and the Xbox original. This generation is a 0.2 from last gen. How can that be? I understand why you're thinking that, but understand you have to fully go inside details. They're talking specs of television, 4K. All right, first of all, understand television is only native to 1080p at best, which means a lot of shows are probably 1080i, 900p on a good day. So a lot of shows are still not 1080p. That's not what they're shooting at. I mean, they're not native to it. You see what I'm saying? A lot of the games being released in 2016 are not native 1080p, 60 frames per second. A lot of them, no matter what camp you're with, whether you're with Xbox or you're with PlayStation, doesn't matter. A lot of them are not. And I know both sides are gonna be like, oh, look, well, you're a Nintendo guy. Look how much Nintendo shit you have on. I have a PlayStation 4, Pippin, so calm your shit. But it is very true. Both systems right now are not native 1080p. Not out the box. Not even as we talk. They're not native 1080p 60 frames a second. 4K is still at least a full decade away. Go by the protocol. You had Nintendo 8-bit. You had, what was it, Sega Master System 8-bit, Atari 8-bit. You had all these systems start out 8-bit. Then you had Super Nintendo 16-bit, Sega Genesis 16-bit. Then you had So Sega, what was that? Sega something another was 32-bit, 32X, 32-bit. And Nintendo skipped 32-bit and went straight into the 64-bit. And then you had, boom, here comes PlayStation. PlayStation is still in the bit era, even though it's on the CD, it's still in the bits. Because the 64 and the PlayStation are running the same games and they look almost identical if you get the shared copies. There's like very few differences between the two. Okay, so 64-bit, bam, right there it is. You see what I'm saying? Um, then you have, you step up from the PS1 to the PS2, and from 64 to the GameCube, and Sega gets from the Genesis and 32X all the way up to Dreamcast. The Dreamcast looks incredible. Then you bring in Microsoft. Now you go from the bit era to 480p. Games are 480p at best. Now we move from that generation to the Wii, the PS3, the Xbox 360. What's after 480p? 720p, pimpin'. You understand what I'm saying? 720p. Why do you think the PS3 original had that little thing in there that even if you set it at 1080p, it knocked it down? Because it still couldn't handle all that horsepower, pimpin'. You see what I'm saying? So, what makes you think in your right mind, if you follow protocol by going step by step, by console, by generation, these consoles are going to be native to the best frame rate? Oh, well, they have the technologies, da 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 da. You can put the greatest technology into these consoles, yet developers can't work with them. Look at the Wii U. Developers are like, it's too complex, it's too this, it's too that, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you can't do, so they don't produce for it. The technology can be the greatest technology put into the system, but the developers can still not understand what you're putting into a console to develop for it. Ready at Dawn made one of the best games for the PS4, and it was not received well by anybody on the PS4. You see what I'm saying? The Order 1886, no contest. One of the best looking games on the PlayStation 4. I'll put that up against any game. I don't care what it is. It can be Final Fantasy Remake. It can be Bloodborne. It can be anything, man. The damn game looks better. Frame by frame. Better. Because you don't know when you're in a cinema. You don't even know when you're playing the game by itself. Frame for frame. Better than any game on the market. Same thing with a lot of games that are native strictly for the Xbox. Sons of Rome. As long as it's not shared, you're going to get the best quality. Because they have to make it work for that design. But 4K, dude, we're still way too fucking far behind for these consoles to have 4K. You're not going to get that anytime soon. Just deal with that, man. The reason these consoles are worried about a new generation, I'm wearing it all day. Bam, bam. Nintendo's NX. Okay? Nintendo's system right now is 3 years old, man. It's 3. It's only 3 years old. We've only had the Wii U for 3 years. I know it's crazy to imagine. We've only had that for 3 years. And they're already talking about the NX, or Nintendo Next, if you will. And remember, when they launched the Xbox One and they launched the PS4, did they not go on record as saying, we want these consoles to last a full decade? Did they not say that? I remember them saying that shit. I remember them saying, we want these to last that long. Okay. But if you look at the games that are coming out, and you look at the games that have come out, majority of the games that have come out are ports, remasters, remakes, definitive editions. That's it. Majority of them. Okay? And I'm not saying that that's a small problem. It's a big problem. Because you don't buy a gaming console for games that you fucking already had, that you fucking already played, that you fucking already beat. Especially when those games are not offering anything fucking new. In fact, they're stripping content from those games to port them to the new consoles. Don't believe me, Nathan Drake Definitive Edition on the PS4, they stripped the multiplayer out of 2 and 3. It's no longer there, okay? But yet they charge you $65 for those 3 games because, oh, we bundled them all up. Oh, that's funny because if you go buy them at GameStop right now, you'll save almost 85 to 90% on buying the bitches used, and the multiplayer packs are still intact with them. Your move, Sony. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with Resident Evil. You remember buying Resident Evil on the PS1? Funny, because I do. Remember the mercenary side quest games on those? I do. You think that's involved in any of these remasters? No, it's not. You see the point here? They're squeezing all this together because they're trying to get you to spend more money because they don't want you to notice what they took out. When if you go and you buy the original games, like this, if you go buy the original game on the original format it was on, there's more content shoved into this than there is on the remaster, remake, revamp, or port. You see what I'm saying? Sony and Microsoft is in the same fucking boat right now, have both financially put each one of themselves this generation into a sinking financial fucking ship. Sony's trying to recover. At least they're trying to recover. But you have to remember, oh, PlayStation's doing great. Okay, Sony is much bigger than just fucking PlayStation. PlayStation 4 is selling great. PlayStation 3 never turned a profit. At least till the very end. And that means for almost a decade, PlayStation as a name was losing money. See what I'm saying? Then you have everything else involved with Sony, the filming industry part of Sony, the DVD part of Sony, meaning the Blu-ray players, the DVD players, losing money, TVs losing money, computers losing money. You see what I'm saying? Tablets losing money, phones losing money. All these departments in Sony losing money. There's no room because they were pulling money from these parts to help PlayStation stay afloat. You see what I'm saying? Hemorrhaging money is the definition of what Sony was doing for the better part of a decade. See what I'm saying? We wouldn't have the PlayStation 4 if it wasn't for Sony hemorrhaging money in their own company today. You see what I'm saying? And the messed up part is they shouldn't have done it to begin with because here we are and it's year 2 and we don't have any original IP to show for it. They could have kept the PS3 going at the rate it was going and releasing original IP on the PS3 and probably turned it around with some original IP on that bitch. I have yet to see, aside from the Order of 1886, any real decent original IP that could not be released on the PS3. Oh, well, what about Batman Arkham Knight? Funny that that game can't be released on PS3 because I don't see why it can't. Oh, well, the aspects. It's the chips in it. Really? That's where you're gonna go with that? Okay. Do you realize now that it's been over a decade? It's been over 12 years. It's been almost a full 15 years that we've waited for Kingdom Hearts 3. We still don't know when that bitch is coming out. All we know is it's being worked on, that it's still in development. That's all we know. Gamers are patient. Arkham Knight did not have to come out as fast as it did. It didn't have to. Arkham City could have been the last game in the gamer's mind, and we would have been fine with that. Nobody was bitching about Arkham City. Arkham City was damn near perfect. Very little flaws. Everybody loves that game. The Wii U, the Wii U is partially the reason why the PS4 and Xbox One exist. You can disagree with me all you want, but hear me out. Before the Wii U even came out, PlayStation 3 Xbox 360 were doing just fine. Xbox 360 held its lead. Xbox 360 was kicking ass. Xbox 360 was doing its thing. PS3 was holding second place. And however you want to look at it. Even though Nintendo Wii was dominant with the silence. Even though Nintendo Wii was pounding that ass and not having to say a word. Okay? But from the way you'll hear it on the street, Xbox 360 was 1, PS3 was 2, Wii was 3. In the reality of it, Wii is number 1, 360 is 2, and PS3 is dead last. Now, when Nintendo announced the Wii U, the successor to the Wii, no matter what camp you're with, Sony or the fucking Xbox, doesn't matter. Both corporations panic and they get in a frenzy mode. They get in, oh my god, because they believe that people from them camps are gonna strictly go to Nintendo. They're gonna go to Nintendo's camp and that's where they're gonna game. That's not the case. People pay attention to Nintendo because that's what they grew up on. They want to know what's gonna happen with the people they grew up with. Not thinking that Nintendo can take I think it was like a 3-4 generation hiatus and still be financially stable. Hell, they've been in the game for over 100 fucking years. They were in the game before virtual games were available. They made card games. They're fine. They're going nowhere. No matter how much you as a Sony head or you as the Xbox head wish them to go away. It doesn't matter how much you fanboys wish it. Nintendo's got more money than Microsoft and Sony could wish they had. Okay? Mario, Yoshi, Bowser, Luigi, Metroid, Zelda is like throwaway cash in comparison to the money they have in vault stock way in the back. These motherfuckers have been around for fucking 100 plus years. You see what I'm saying? They've been around for over that long. You see what I'm saying? They've been around since granddaddy's granddaddy was around. You see what I'm saying? They ain't going nowhere anytime soon. So get the fuck over yourself. Not to mention now, you see I have a hat on with a Nintendo sign. I'm wearing a t-shirt with Nintendo on it. I have games, obviously. But what you don't see is that the amiibos are toys. I also have collectible Donkey Kong, those little Donkey Kong figures that you can buy at like toy stores. I have a Donkey Kong and a Diddy Kong figure. Okay? They have toys, they have plush figures, they have t-shirts. They are expanding into more than video games, and plus they're getting in the mobile market. They have money on top of money on top of money. So when you hear that they took a financial loss of like 40 grand or 140 grand or 440 plus grand, that's like throwing 50 cents out the window to me or you. They got money on top of money on top of money. Believe me, they could sleep for the next 5 generation consoles and come back and still have more money to burn than whoever the fuck is here. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you have companies who everybody's, riding that dick hard for, Microsoft or Sony. They ain't got money like that. They haven't been around that damn long. They haven't earned that kind of respect. And I'm not saying that to them to piss them off. I'm not saying that to piss you off. I'm saying that because it's the fucking truth. That's the honest God truth. Sony's been around since what? Maybe the 40s? Maybe? Microsoft's been around since maybe the 70s? Nintendo's been around since the 1880s. Who's got more experience in the game? Nintendo. You see what I'm saying? So before you lose your shit, it don't matter what they doing. Just, they know what the fuck they doing. You just might not like it. That just means you gotta get the fuck over it. But please note, Quit paying this shit attention. PlayStation 5 needs to come out. No, it don't. No, it don't. Because all that means is now we're going to get another port of another port of a port that we had from the port of the original fucking game we had on the first goddamn generation. You see what I'm saying? We don't need that. What we need is for this generation to get some original IP. Also, why is it every original game that comes out for the PS4, whether it be a AAA title or a indie title, is a download game, it seems like? Why is that? Sony, did y'all learn nothing from the PSP Go? Did y'all learn nothing from that disaster? Downloadable only games may happen in the next 20 years, but right now that is a disaster. PSP Go wasn't that long ago. PSP Go was about... it was right there at the beginning of your PS3. If not, like, a few years into your PS3. It was. It was right there. Because the PSP was still around during the PS3. It's still pretty hot, too. So, if you learn nothing, please note, you need more physical copies of these IPs, no matter if they're independent or you release them. Because digital games are not the thing to go with right now. Because Sony and Microsoft, listen to me, you released consoles with the smallest gig in this time period to date. 500 gigs for the PS3's generation at the beginning of that was massive. Games were not coming out being... this isn't a good example, but this right here, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, 50 gigs. And you have to download 50 gigs onto the damn thing. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Assassin's 4 is 20. These two games alone eat up 70 gigs off of that 500. If you take this one, this is 45. You know what I'm saying? 3 games already over 100 gigs. Knack is 37. This right here, this whole stack of, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 games, bro. 7 games. 7 games and a handful of download games that I've been getting from the PSN. Ate up 500 gigs. Fast. You see what I'm saying? 500 gigs fast. When they released these consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, both consoles at launch should have been released with the minimum memory in it being a terabyte. A terabyte. Because they knew when they released these games, 50 gigs. The order, 50 gigs. You knew this. Why you gave us the smallest. This was like giving us the 4 gig Xbox 360. This was like giving us the 12 gig PS3, 500 gigs. You see what I'm saying? But I get it. I get it. Now, my last thing about the whole current generation is very simple. Until the games on this generation, this current generation, are running 60 frames a second at native 1080p, and until that is the master way everything is produced, everything is made, there's no reason to think of the next generation. There's no reason to think of what could be for the PS5, what could be for Xbox's next generation. Because right now, as it stands, PS4 and Xbox One both have games released for them that are not native 1080p at 60 frames per second. Hell, they're lucky if they're native 1080p at 30 frames a second. Lucky. You see what I'm saying? Xbox still puts games out at 720p, 60 frames a second. Why the hell would you want a next-gen console when that's what you have right now? If they put out another one, the developers wouldn't be able to use it. See what I'm saying? This video went on way more longer than I hoped it would. turning it into an episode video because I haven't done one in forever. But aspects of a TV have nothing to do with the aspects of your gaming console. Okay? If very little. Put it that way. Very little. I have a 1080i TV, and the 1080p games look perfectly fine. My TV in the living room is 4K, and the games look just as well as they do on that TV as they play on the one in my room. Literally, there's not any damn difference. You know what I'm saying? So, we need to quit talking about what is down the road for PlayStation 5, what's down the road for Xbox. Mainly because, like I said, this generation we're in hasn't even got their shit together yet. They're still releasing port after port after port after definitive edition after definitive edition after remaster after remaster after remake after remake. And until that shit stops and we start seeing original IP, original IP, original IP, original IP, and actual hard copy original IPs, where we can make a worthy fucking collection, we have nothing to fucking go off of. Because if we get another one, it's gonna be just that. A repeat of this one. Because they're gonna be like, we have nothing to make. Developers gonna have nothing to make it. And they're just gonna be like, well, let's just bring this one over here because we need more time. We need more time. Also, one more thing while I'm thinking about it. The broken games have got to fucking stop. I know last generation started doing it and it came into this one. Stop. Before next generation comes out, this generation, we need broken games to stop. Just stop. Because if they don't, there is no need for another generation. At all. If broken games do not stop this generation, I don't see why we need another generation. See what I'm saying? There's just not. Anyway, if you made it to the end of this video, man, I applaud you. I appreciate you. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, definitely. And I will see y'all next video, man. And like I said, thank you for watching this whole video, hearing me out. Leave your comment below. Let me know what you think. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I saw this on the rumor book. And people talking about the whole wanting PS5s, wanting the next console because they weren't happy with this console. And I understand that. I understand that completely. But I think we definitely need this console's problems fixed and working properly before we even think about a next console. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. And hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see y'all next time, man. Go check out my other videos, man. Deuces.